Hello everybody and welcome to your next lesson of maths. So we're going to be looking at subtraction again today, and we're just going to spend the lesson recapping our subtraction methods and improving and deepening our understanding of how we can subtract. Okay, let's go. So we're going to start again with a recap. Right. I just want you to shout out these answers. So we've got 7 add something is 10. So we've got a missing number in the number bond. 7 and what make 10? Well done if you said 3. 7 and 3 make 10. 1 add something equals 10. 1 and what makes 10? Well done if you said 9. And 10 equals something add 8. 8 and what make 10? Well done if you said 2. Okay, this is your recap of some of the learning we have already done, so you can complete this on the printout on your sheets and send pictures to your teachers or pop it back in your pack and we'll be able to see your answers there. So there's different ways of subtracting. You've got ones with tens frames on there and a number line as well. Okay, so you can either cross out on those questions 2 and 3 and then use the number line on the last one. And it's up to you how you work out the first one. I can see a pattern in that first question, so look carefully. Okay, let's start. So, just to recap all the different methods we have learned, the first thing I would like us to do is cross out these counters to help us. So you should have this printed out in your book. So you've got 17 subtract 8, and I'd like you to use the crossing out method to work this answer out. So pause this video now and complete the question, and then I will go through the answer. Okay, well done for working it out. Let's do it together. So there's my crossing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I can see in the tens frame I'm left with 9, so 17 subtract 8 is 9. This time I'm going to do the same sum but on a number line. So can you do your jumps on your number line and show me 17 subtract 8? Well done, you've got the same answer as 9. Okay, so you remember this method from yesterday's lesson. So we've got 17 subtract 8 again, but instead of doing 7 individual jumps to get to 10, if we know there are 7 ones in the number 17, we can jump back straight to 10. So there are my 7 jumps that take me straight back to 10, and then I know to make sure I've subtracted all 8, I've got to do one more, and the answer is again still 9. So there are each of the different methods, and you'll be able to see each time we did a method, it was faster and it was still just as accurate and we still got the same answer. Okay, so now we're trying to find the difference, and I hope you remember what that word difference means. If we're finding the difference between two numbers, do we add them or do we subtract them? Well done if you remember the word difference means subtract. So here we've got Ava, who has 12 counters, and Alex, who has, can you count them? Well done, 7 counters. And I want to know who has more. So to find out who has more, if you have a look at the picture, you should be able to see, or you should know from the numbers which one is greater. Well done if you said Ava. So Ava has more, but how many more does she have? So I'm going to draw a line on my counters there. So I've drawn a line to meet how many are the same as Alex. And now I can see on the end how many more counters she has. So there they are now in red. Look, I've turned them over to help us. And you can see Ava has 5 more counters, because you could easily just count them or look at them and see that that is 5. But if I didn't have the diagram to help me, I could have just subtracted the two numbers. So 12 subtract 7 is again 5. So the difference between 12 and 7 is 5. This time, Tiny has some counters. Can you see how many he's got? And Tommy has some counters. Can you count how many he's got? Well done. And I want to see who has more. Well done. If you said that Tiny has more, but how many more does he have? So we're going to have to count the counters to help us. So Tiny's got 13 and Tommy has 9. So we could use the diagram to help us, or we could just subtract the two numbers. So there are the counters turned over to help you to find the answer. Or I could have just put it in a subtraction sentence. So we always start with the greatest number when we're subtracting. So 13 subtract 9. So I've got Tiny's counters subtract Tommy's counters, and there are a difference of 4. Well done if you said that. This time we have the counters in a tens frame to help us see the numbers. So how many does Ava have? And how many does Alex have? And again, I want to know who has more, so I'm finding the difference between the two amounts. So Ava has her 12 counters, Alex has her 7 counters, and how many more does Ava have than Alex? So I can turn over all the counters to show how many more Ava has. And then that is my subtraction sentence. So it's 12 subtract 7, and we can see when we've turned them over, there are 5 counters more. So Ava has 5 more. Again, if you didn't have the picture to help you, you could have just subtracted the two numbers on your number line. Okay, this time I've got a bit of a word problem. So there are 15 buttons. There are 8 pink. How many are green? So I've been told how many we've got in total, the total amount of buttons. I've been told that 8 of them are pink, but I need to find the difference so I can work out how many counters are green. So when we are finding the difference, remember it means subtract the two numbers. So we always start with the greatest number, which is 15, and we could subtract the 8. So you can do it on your number line to find the answer. Okay, so here's the 15. We subtracted the 8 pink buttons to find out there were 7 green ones. And you can also count the picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are right, well done. Right, so last one. There are 16 buttons. This time, 7 of them are pink. How many are green? So again, we're finding the difference. So we're starting with the greatest number in our subtraction. And what would we take away? Yep, so we'll subtract the 7 pink buttons. And can you find out how many are green? Well done if you did 16 subtract 7 equals 9. Right, okay, so now you can have a go at your worksheets and your problem solving and reasoning. So, I'll just give you a few tips of how to complete your worksheets. So in the first ones, you need to find the calculation that matches the tens frame. So you've got 3 options, and what does the picture represent? And then you tick in the box the calculation that matches. And again with the next question. Then after that you have a problem, and you need to fill in your number sentence and find the difference between the numbers. There's a number line on there to help you if you need it. And then the next question again is a worded problem. And then the next one, you've also got to read the question carefully, and there's a part hill to fill out as well as a number sentence. And then at the bottom, you've got some subtraction cards to choose from to finish off the subtraction to make sure it makes sense. Okay, so there are lots of different questions to do with subtraction today. Good luck, everybody.